The Thagomizers, a unique Titan-only exotic armor piece found in Rise of Iron. This particular armor set that you see for the arms, you're gonna... Look, here's the thing. You may have already seen this particular armor set. It was available in the Bungie Armory for view during the Taken King expansion, and we actually were under the impression we were gonna get these gauntlets during that particular DLC. However, it was time-gated and then finally available in Rise of Iron, which released a few weeks ago. Now, this was one armor set that I was looking to get my hands on to try out, and I ended up getting it on day one of Rise of Iron from an engram for arms that I had saved, and it just decrypted and dropped for me right off the bat, and I was really excited. So we're going to take a look at not only the overall design and style, but the perks and the benefits that you can find in PvP and or PvE situations. Now, you're looking at my Titan build before. I had done already a review on the Dune Marchers, the Thagomizers here. I'm rocking the same shader once again, the Barrier Ethos, my favorite. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what these look like without the shader, the Barrier Ethos. Let's go down here. We're going to go ahead and take that off, and then we can see if they look like standard. So you're looking at that kind of like red and kind of beat up and worn out looking design. I wonder, I mean, ever since I got these, I'd always looked at the shoulder pads here, and I've got a female Titan, so they're not as big and bulky as you'd find on a male, but I can tell you, every time I look at these, they remind me of a war sat. I don't know why, but it just stands out to me as being a war sat. And just the way that the pins and spiky kind of design looks like coming off the arms there and off the shoulder pads. But naturally, as you can see, I'm wearing a couple Regalia armor pieces from Dusty Iron Ingrams that I got from the Lord Saladin in the Iron Temple. So you can see that I've kind of got a special, unique theme going on with the color in the chest and the legs, but the arms, they stand out as being that kind of maroon color. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the shaders that I've got. These are overall my favorite ones that we have available in the game for this particular armor set build that I've got for my Titan. But we're going to look at Shadow White first. So Solid White, you get this one from Vault of Glass, the Year 1 vanilla raid that you get, one of the best raids in the game. That Solid White, you're looking at that kind of black, torn out, beat up design on the shoulders and on the kind of wrist area there. Really neat. I like that a lot. We were looking at Barrier Ethos before. That's my personal favorite shader. You can get this one from Ava Levante over on the speaker side of the tower. And then Amduat Inc. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly, but this is a Trials of Osiris one. This one I love a lot with this particular design because it's consistent in that the padding and the armor that you actually see is black, but the pins themselves are golden spiky, and that to me is really cool. Next up, we're going to look at the Stolen Chalice. You can get this one from Ava Levante as well. She sells this one occasionally. Continuing on here, you've got white on the padding portion, and then the pins that are sticking out of the shoulders and the wrist there are silver. Looking really cool. I like that a lot. Bitter Steel kind of does the exact same thing, providing an overall black and white theme with the black pins on the shoulders there. This is one that you get from the Dead Orbit packages. I like this one just because it kind of gives like the waist and the hips there and the knees, the feet, the helmet, the hands, like most of that black and then the white here and there. This actually is probably my favorite shader for this particular build that I've got. If I'm running a Thagomizer build in a PvP or PvE situation, this would be the shader that I've got. It's just to each their own. You know, you may not find this to be the best shader for you. You might like a different one, but this one I really like a lot. Nefertiti AK is also one of my other favorite shaders, just switching it up and getting rid of the black there and throwing a little bit of a red accent color with the pins and the mask and the overall non-armor aspect. You're just looking at kind of like the hips, the rear, the kneecaps and whatnot in the red. Infinite Link, you get this one from doing the Refer a Friend quest. This one took me a while to obtain, but the solid black on black is really cool here. I like this one with the Regalia as well because it goes well in showing off on the kind of like hip thigh area there just above the knee. You're looking at those wolves, and then you've got the chest in the center that reminds me of the Bannerfall tree that I'm standing under right now, and then Crocus that you get from SRL. So it kind of blocks out the white design that you see the tree and the wolves, but the pins purple there looks really cool. I like this one a lot, but let's just go ahead and jump back to Barrier Ethos, my particular favorite shader that we've got here. I like that one. You'll notice that the white actually changed to kind of a manila. I didn't notice that before, but that's really cool. If we toggle back and forth there, you can see like the blinding white and then jumping down to kind of like a worn out, almost like an unpolished, like kind of a manila goldish looking color almost. It depends. That's just kind of what it looks like to me. But again, taking the shader off, you're looking at kind of an ugly design, but the red kind of looks neat there. Finding another armor set that matches that maroon is going to be kind of tricky, but to each their own. Let's take a look and see what the actual perks are here on this one. Now, the variety of nodes that you're going to see, the roll on it, are going to be completely dependent on when these dropped for you, how they dropped for you, or whatever. And obviously, you're probably never going to find a duplicate build the exact same way. In this one, we're going to go ahead and look at Discipline and Strength, which I find to be very helpful for my build style. But the main perk here is 1-2 Punch. Unlocks a Striker subclass node Amplify for free, and you gain an additional melee charge. This is extremely important to me because I love melee, and considering that shotgunning is kind of the main thing that you're going to be seeing in PvP right now, That ability to do double melee is awesome. Prior to that, I ended up doing the Insurmountable Skull Fort, which is available much earlier on here, and this gives you an additional melee charge. This one not only gives you an additional melee charge, but also grants you Amplify, so you can really mix up your overall build on your striker here. So the design is, like I said, one of those things that it's each their own. I think the design is kind of neat, but it's not my favorite aesthetic design. But the overall like punchability here, having multiple punches are really going to help out. If you're rocking a shotgun and you do one blast and then you throw a punch and then still have that extra melee if you're surrounded by multiple enemies, could be extremely beneficial. And if you are surrounded by enemies in PvE, if you are using a striker class or any subclass for that matter, you do stand the chance, if they're close enough together, to being able to do a single punch and then taking out multiple enemies as the kind of elemental damage that comes from your punch will kind of spin off a little bit and hit nearby enemies. But for me, having a double melee is awesome, and being able to mix up my build in a striker, which is what I main on my Titan all the time, is awesome. Now, I've said this before, I prefer running sniper if I can. But Sniper is a long man's game, and with the increased flinch lately, with the changes with Bungie's updates, has kind of made snipers, I don't want to say obsolete because that's not true, but it does require a bit more of a skilled hand, and it does require you to be a little bit more distant and out of sight and out of mind. Otherwise, if you start getting hit by enemies, you're going to get flinching like crazy, unless you have a sniper that has a perk that's against flinching, in which case shotguns end up becoming the dominant form here. Now, Titans kind of have this thing where they love to do the slide, and then shoulder charge, or you're going to be doing a slide and then a shotgun blast and then a melee, which is kind of my go-to thing. If I can do a slide shoulder charge, I will, but for me, I always find that I can do a slide, shotgun, and then a punch to finish off my enemy if the shotgun is not enough to do that final damage. But that all depends. Now,
5 minutes left.
Thank you for the reminder, Shax. I am in my own solo match here, so I don't have a whole lot of enemies that I can take on, or any for that matter. But I can tell you right now that the Thagomizers perk of just having an extra melee is awesome. And if you do have a male Titan, you're going to see a lot more of a bulkier, stronger looking male build here with that armor. And it decreases the overall size of these gauntlets too. So it depends on what you're looking for, but if you're looking for something intimidating, damn, these will be the gauntlets for you. Thagomizers drop for me at 369. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of hang on to them and use them whenever I see fit. But for now, I'm just got to say that this might not be my go-to perk, but in PvP, it sure helps considering the way that I like to play. But Dune Marchers are more of my preferred method of exotic when I'm rolling in PvP or even PvE. But regardless, it depends on the shader. You are kind of at that one of those luck things. Maybe Xur will sell this eventually, or you get it a drop from Arm Ingrams if you're lucky there. Get it from the Nightfall, get it from raids and whatnot. You can also get these from the Year 2 Taken King raids as well. Same with the Dune Marchers. So any of the new exotics have an option from dropping from the TTK raid, which is nice, King's Fall. But in any case, if you guys do find yourselves clamoring to get your hands on this particular gauntlet set, let me know. If you guys have a particular build that you want to show off or share with me using the Thagomizers, tell me about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts with some comments down below. And if you did find this particular video helpful, as always, drop me a like, because I love to hear that and see that down below and know that I'm doing a decent job. But in any case, guys, this is going to be the end of the video here. Thank you guys for checking this out, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.